Welcome to the first episode of Head in the Clouds Working Wise. My name is Alicia Keener, and today I have the privilege of being with André Arnaud de Calavon. André is a 10 times Microsoft MVP and has been in the Microsoft space for many, many years. So, André, it's a pleasure to have you here today, and if you don't mind, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thanks for inviting me for this conversation, Alicia. Indeed, like you said, I have a lot of experience, but my experience already started long time back, initially with Navision Financials. That was over 25 years ago. Somewhere in 2001, I made a switch from Navision to Axapta, which is now known as Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. Next to this technology, I also focus on the full Power Platform stack to see what's available and also just give advice to the clients to get the most out of their Dynamics 365 investment.
That is really cool. I didn't realize you actually started with Navision. So you've been in this Microsoft world for a very long time. And then so you went from Navision over to AX at the time, which is now D365 Finance and Supply Chain. So through the years, you probably have seen a lot around a shift in the environment in Microsoft around security and compliance and stuff like that. So today, I know a couple of weeks ago, you and I were talking about how the landscape of that has changed. So what are you seeing Microsoft doing to ensure that our customers and our data is safe and secure? So what kind of things have you been seeing these days?
Well, I can't talk about certain recent things, but when you look at just the history in the past, initially when just working with the solutions, I didn't care that much about security because it was all on premise. You just installed it and it was running in your own private network at the clients. And even the first version of AX I worked with myself was in 2.5. I tried to create a brute force attack for just checking out what is a password used by persons. And I found out that at that time it was possible to just use multiple passwords because the encryption and checking was not correct. But later, I just realized that security is really important also for the application, that person will have just the correct duties and not more than that to have segregation of duties, but also prevent any fraudulent actions in companies. And when Microsoft really had to focus and shift to the cloud, then companies are just also checking, is the cloud really secure or not? How can I protect my data? What you see these days, there are a lot of attackers trying to just hack networks and just
So as you're going through and working with clients and stuff, are you seeing that Microsoft has actually added some functionality? Because again, I know back in the day when we were on-prem, it was not nearly as scary of sorts because you had your firewalls, you had all your protection internally, but now things are in the cloud. So is Microsoft doing any kind of two-part authentication or any kind of special keys or anything around AI that could help facilitate the protection of their data?
yeah. If you look at just the Microsoft Cloud, then instead of you and ensure and protect your own network, you have to trust that Microsoft is doing that for you. Microsoft is just having a trust center website where you can check according to what standards they ensure that the clouds they offer is secure. And they also just invite companies to do any penetration tests. And also, when those tests are performed, those companies might have certain recommendations to Microsoft where they also take some of that feedback in consideration and ensure that just the Azure cloud centers are really on a high level of security. That's also just something we initially had a bit hard time convincing on-premise customers that the data might be even more secure in the cloud than in their own networks.
That's interesting.
And what you then also see is that some customers think, well, Microsoft is managing some keys for my finance operations environment. They tell that no one is able to read the data in the SQL database. For that reason, initially, there was no option to provide an own customer managed key, but Microsoft has changed that and also aligned with other Dynamics 365 solutions where customers are now also able to provide their own customer managed key to really ensure that no one else is able to read data stored in the Dynamics 365 database.
That's really encouraging to hear, because I know with certain types of industries around, like, anything medical related, life sciences, which I'm very heavily involved in, also a lot of government type projects and different things, there's a lot of compliancies. So by Microsoft providing this additional key that just is available to the customer to use, that seems like it really shores up and secures their data at a different level. Are you seeing any use of AI around security? Is Microsoft starting to leverage AI around the security component?
Yes, not directly within F&O itself. Microsoft offers another solution on the Azure platform called Sentinel, and that's a so-called security information and event management solution that is being fed with a lot of data. Could be login data from users or maybe some other data entered by users in an application. And when there's some abnormalities, something weird going on, then AI can recognize a certain pattern or threats where, depending on a security level or severity level, I must say it correctly, it can even just directly block an end user. And the Sentinel solution was released last year, and Microsoft also offers an add-in for Microsoft Dynamics 365 for finance and operations, where all changes, for example, on vendor bank accounts, can be sent to Sentinel, where certain threats can be recognized. And that's a nice solution, but I'm just also a bit of hesitant in such a way that the technology being used for that is the database log, and using the database log might not be the best solution, but for now, at least there is an option to provide certain application data where AI can indeed also have a look at, is there anything weird going on? For example, if the same vendor bank account or the same bank account number is used at several vendors, that's suspicious.
So that's really helpful, because I know Microsoft is on this huge push to use AI throughout the application. In fact, I was in something the other day, and it actually called D365 FNSC. They actually called it AI ERP. And so they're really pushing down that platform and that path. So it's really encouraging to see how they're leveraging that to ensure the data inside the database. So I think you described two different security components that Microsoft is rolling out. So the two-part, or the secret key of sorts for the customer, as well as the Sentinel component. Is there anything else that you can see Microsoft having on their path or their roadmap around security? Or do you think they'll pretty much just start building upon the stuff they've already started implementing?
Initially, they will just, if you look at the application security, that will remain a bit the same, where I personally think it would make sense to focus more also on securing the data via Azure AD groups. Well, recently there was a name change. I should not say Azure AD groups anymore. That's now Entra ID. So where several Dynamics 365 applications and the Power Platform is relying on just security managed via the Entra ID groups. It is possible with finance operations, but today there are certain limitations in the application if you provide access via the Entra ID groups. And I would like to see that there will be just more focus on solving those issues.
So it's exciting we'll sit back and watch and see what Microsoft does. It's always exciting to watch Microsoft because they throw millions and millions and millions of dollars into the application because they realize the importance of making sure there's data integrity and security for their data and for their customers. So it's been really great hearing the path that Microsoft is on using the AI as well as the Sentinel. And so Andre, if people want to get in touch with you or learn more about you, how can they reach out to you?
Actually, I'm apologies.
So can I get you on LinkedIn? I believe you're on LinkedIn and you're in the Microsoft channel as well. Is that right?
Yes. You can find me on LinkedIn. I also have a Twitter page and a YouTube channel. You can all find just on LinkedIn, you can find me with my full name. And on Twitter and on YouTube, you can find me with the keywords Dynamicspedia. And I also have a blog site, dynamicspedia.com, where you can just follow certain news and knowledge sharing for my sites, which I will share in blogs. And if you have any question to the community, you can also go to the community.dynamics.com, ask your question, and I'm also one of the volunteers trying to catch up and answer a lot of those questions.
Fantastic. So Andre, it's a pleasure having you today, and I hope our audience reaches out to you. And until next time, keep your head in the clouds.